There is a planet where a single day lasts longer than an entire year. And no, it is not some frozen world drifting at the edge of the solar system. It is Venus, one of the closest planets to Earth, and one of the strangest worlds we have ever studied. At first, that fact sounds impossible. How can a planet take longer to turn once on its axis than it takes to go all the way around the sun? But Venus really does. One full rotation on Venus takes about 243 Earth days. One full year on Venus takes about 225 Earth days. In other words, Venus finishes an entire trip around the sun before it even completes one full spin. That alone would make it one of the weirdest planets in the solar system. But Venus does not stop there. It also spins in the opposite direction from most of the other planets. On Earth, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west because of the way our planet rotates. On Venus, that would be reversed. The sun would appear to rise in the west and set in the east. So this is already a world where the sky works differently, time works differently, and even a normal sunrise would feel wrong. And yet the strangest part is that Venus is often called Earth's twin. It is almost the same size as Earth. It has a similar mass. From far away, you could imagine it as some kind of sister world. But if Earth is the familiar twin, Venus is the one that turned into a nightmare. Its surface is hot enough to melt lead. The temperature is around 465 degrees Celsius, hot enough to stay deadly day and night. The atmosphere is thick, crushing, and filled mostly with carbon dioxide. Clouds of sulfuric acid cover the planet. The air pressure at the surface is so intense, it is like being deep under an ocean on Earth. This is not a place where you could stand for a moment and look around. This is a planet that crushes, burns, and suffocates almost anything that reaches it. And that is what makes the long day feel even stranger. On a calm, beautiful world, a long day might sound peaceful. On Venus, it sounds like being trapped inside an endless furnace while the sky barely moves. But Venus has one more twist. If you measure not the full rotation of the planet, but the time from one sunrise to the next, the solar day is actually about 117 Earth days. That is still absurdly long, but shorter than the full rotation because Venus is moving around the sun while it turns so slowly. Even time itself has to be explained carefully on Venus, because nothing there behaves in the simple way you expect. So the real story of Venus is not just that its day is longer than its year. It is that Venus is a world where almost every familiar rule seems broken. A planet that spins backward. A planet hidden under acid clouds. A planet so hot that metal would soften and electronics struggle to survive. A planet that looks similar to Earth in size, yet became one of the most hostile places in the entire solar system. That is why Venus feels so unsettling. It is not strange in some distant alien way, like a giant exoplanet orbiting another star. It is strange in a way that feels closer, more personal. Venus is right next door, a near neighbor. A planet that reminds us that worlds can start out looking similar and end up becoming completely different. And maybe that is the most disturbing part of all. Because Venus is not just a weird planet. It is a warning. A real world close to Earth, where time feels broken, the sky runs backward, and a single day can last longer than a year.